Welcome into Pat Bale Field as the Alameda Merchants at 4-2 look to continue their sizzling start to the 2025 California Collegiate League season as they face off against the Stompers of Sonoma. These teams played a week ago, and Alameda won the first contest of the year between these two squads, but we are in store for a good one. These teams have a habit of playing in close contests. I'm Ethan Siegel, joined alongside Kyle Floyd as well. We're set for a fun one, Kyle.
Absolutely. Both of these teams off to good starts. Specifically, the last couple games, the Stompers have exploded. 14 runs apiece in those last two games. The Merchants have been no slouches on offense either. Should be a good matchup. Excited to see this one, Ethan.
You mentioned that explosion for the Stompers. They've had 2 days of rest since the weekend, but absolute dismantling of San Francisco over the weekend on Saturday. A 14-3 win over the Seagulls, and they followed that up with a 14-0 shutout in a game in which Sonoma had 11 steals, awfully aggressive on the base paths. It will be Sonoma's offense up first today with Cole Airhorn, the right-handed pitcher on the mound for Alameda from Los Medanos College. He's already made 2 appearances so far this season. Overall, just 2 2/3 innings pitched. A little bit up and down to start the season, but what can we expect to see today from Airhorn?
Well, you're going to see a power fastball and a great slider that's going to start at the front hip to righties and dart to the outside corner, vice versa for those lefties. It's going to be interesting seeing Airhorn taking the mound as an opener now. Usually comes in middle relief or later in the game. We saw him try to close down a game earlier in this year, so we'll see what the mentality is like from Airhorn opening this one up for the Merchants.
And Airhorn's going to need the support of his defense, which reads like this. In the outfield from left to right, Ben Ryland, Dominic Nahar, and Cy Turner. In the infield from left to right, Chase Dittmer, Jace Jeremiah, Noah Smallwood, and Emmett Finney. Riley Winchell behind the dish as we are set to get started. Leading off for Sonoma will be Colton Boardman, the shortstop of Cal State Northridge. Alameda debuting their royal blue uniforms for the first time with accents of yellow to go with white pants, reminiscent of the Seattle Mariners alternate uniforms we were talking about pregame. Meanwhile, Sonoma wearing their all grays. This is the first pitch in for ball one.
A lot of great athletes on the field today. Ethan noticed it doing all of our research. We know what the Merchants have, but Stompers as well, including Boardman, tremendous athlete. Ready to see these guys go out there on the field.
Boardman takes one out on a drive out to right field, but Turner is under it, who calmly steps back and collects the first out of the afternoon, or the evening, I should say, as it's still beautiful weather here in Alameda, mid-60s with a breeze. Anthony Shepler steps in. Shepler hitting a .357 in CCL play so far this season. Through 14 at-bats, a lefty with tons of power as he watches Airhorn's first pitch outside for ball one. Shepler in non-league play struggled early in the season, and Coach Pace said just needs at-bats as he takes a strike for strike one. As I was saying, Coach Pace saying, early struggle, sometimes you just need to go through that failure in order to get better early on in the season. And since then, those last 6 games all in CCL play, Shepler's been hot at the plate. Awaits the 1-1 from Airhorn. Has to dodge inside, ball 2.
Well, this is his time, right? Freshmen going into a big program at Ohio State often don't get a whole lot of playing time, so you come into summer ball. This is the chance to make your mark. Shepler, I want to mention as well, one of those great athletes, also played slot receiver in football in high school, won back-to-back state championships, and you can just see him in the box, the kind of physicality he brings.
Shepler tapped one back for a foul ball, knotting the count at 2-2. The Ohio State product awaits the pitch from Airhorn. The kick and delivery. That one swung on, sent to the shortstop, Jeremiah, who scoops it up but fumbles it a bit, tosses it over, but not in time. Shepler will get aboard. It was a sharply hit ball, and the usually excellent Jeremiah had some issues fielding that one at shortstop, and it gave Shepler just enough time to be able to leg it out.
Indeed, usually excellent at shortstop, especially with his actions, is Jeremiah. We spoke to Coach Fairfield about that before the game. Makes a lot of those kinds of pro-style plays. Tough left-hand stab there with the glove, just wasn't able to come up with it. Uncharacteristic for him for sure.
It'll be ruled an E6, allowing Schepler to reach. Landon Akers, the center fielder, now up, takes the first pitch for ball 1. A redshirt freshman, just completed his redshirt freshman season, I should say. Bellarmine takes a strike. He was named to the ASUN All-Freshman team, had 80 hits, a program record since the team joined Division I ranks. The 1-1 from Airhorn. Swung on, looked like he just got a piece of it, grounded it foul.
That was a really nice off-speed pitch from Airhorn, got him out in front, climbed back ahead in the count.
Akers hitting .333 and 21 at-bats so far this summer. Schepler at first. That one right back to the pitcher Airhorn, who tosses over to second, trying to get the double play, but not in time. A quick reaction time by the pitcher Airhorn, who gloved it and turned 180 degrees to toss it over to Smallwood to get the lead runner and the second out.
Now batting number 49, McCann Libby.
Great job by him to stab that. Just a second or two slow on deciding to throw to second base. You got to know what the runner on first there. You want to immediately turn. Perhaps that cost him the chance at securing the double play, but good to get one out for 2 outs in the inning.
So now the second baseman, McCann Libby, watches the first pitch go by him. Strike one. Airhorn went to the breaking ball on that one. Airhorn offers a variety of pitches, including a four-seam fastball, sinker, slider, and splitter. But it's really all about the slider, according to Coach T.C. Fairfield. It really looks like a fastball, and then has that late break. Looked like he tossed it right there. It was trending outside, then veered back in for strike 2.
We'll see if anything changes with 2 strikes now, but keep an eye on Akers over there at first. Had 16 stolen bases this spring. You mentioned they were running wild in their last game.
The 0-2 pitch, swung on, tapped over to the second baseman Smallwood, gloves it off of one hop and tosses it over for the third out of the inning. On an error, Sonoma is able to get one to reach base, but Cole Airhorn shuts it down for a quiet inning of work. Alameda will look to get the bats going in the bottom of the first.
When I say they stand for half my just wait a bit and then play half because everyone comes up. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not doing that. It's what they play at the Sanford Beach Boardwalk.
Bottom of the first in Alameda with the top of the lineup due up for the Merchants. A part of the lineup that has been absolutely sizzling as the lefty Jaden Harper tossing on the mound for Sonoma. Harper, member of Cal State Fullerton, attended Ohlone College for 2 years where he holds the program record for strikeouts per 9 innings back in 2024 through 59 innings, through 88 strikeouts, good for 13.4 per 9 innings. The conference championship Ohlone College team back in 2023. Played this past year at Cal State Fullerton, where he kept those strikeout numbers up, 23 strikeouts this past year in limited sample size. Offers fastball, changeup, slider. That fastball usually in the high 80s, but will get into the low 90s as Dominic Nahar takes the first pitch for a strike.
Harper from my stomping grounds of Fremont, California, attended Kennedy High School. Another great athlete. A couple years of varsity basketball in addition to 3 years on the baseball team. Says he models his game after Madison Bumgarner, local World Series hero Madison Bumgarner. Not a bad person to look up to if you're a young lefty.
Great job by Harper to get ahead on Nahar. So that pitch was actually a ball, evening the count at 1-1. Nahar yesterday, 3 hits as he swings through that pitch, making the count 1-2. As I was saying, 3 hits yesterday, 3 for 6, including a double and a triple. Those were his first 2 extra base hits of the season, but it was his 4th consecutive multi-hit game. He has been on a tear to start the season, a .423 batting average, and OPS over 1,000. Swings at the 1-2 pitch and goes down swinging. Just the 3rd strikeout of the year for Dominic Nahar, and what a start for Jaden Harper against Alameda's best hitter.
Now batting number 12, Ben Ryland.
Yeah, had Nahar behind a couple fastballs in that at-bat. Foul tipped the last one into a glove. Don't see Nahar strike out too much. He's got that contact-oriented approach, but able to get a couple by him in that first at-bat.
Brings up the lefty, Ben Ryland, the other member of that 1-2 pair at the top of Alameda's lineup that's really been locked in that 1-2 start spot almost from the get-go of this season. Ryland, a .552 on-base percentage. Already drawn 9 walks, 6 games this season, and he's reached base in all 6 of those contests, looking to extend that to 7. Watches the 1-0 pitch go by him for a strike.
That was a nicely placed breaking ball by Harper on the outside corner. You can throw a lot of those to left-handed batters, they're going to have some trouble.
The 1-1 also finds the strike zone, gets ahead. 1-2. Harper this past season at Cal State Fullerton, a .368 ERA, but a batting average against under 200. He had 19 walks on the season, but when he was able to stay clean, hitters had a hard time squaring up on him. Now as Ben Ryland behind 1-2, the kick and delivery goes to the breaking ball, and that one swung back in toward the strike zone at the last minute, but just not enough. Just missed ball 2.
Maybe a little high. Looked like a really good pitch. The sequencing and the location in this at-bat has been excellent from Harper.
Ryland, the Oklahoma State product. Waits on the 2-2, dribbles one foul, so we'll get another 2-2 pitch.
Gone back and forth with the 2-seam fastball and the breaking ball each of the last 4 pitches. That time tried to get that tail inside to jam Ryland. We'll see if he tries to get him to chase outside with the hook.
The 2-2 upcoming once again. High, Ryland, a good eye to load the count full.
Went back to the fastball there. Ryland's one of those guys who can really make us sound smart up here in the booth because all you'll talk about is the great at-bats that he puts up, and he puts them up every single time. Running another count full here.
The payoff pitch swung on, cracked into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Ryland turning first base, heading towards second. It should be a close play at the bag, but Ryland slides in safely for a double. His first extra base hit of the season comes against Jaden Harper. A 1-out double here in the top of the first, and Alameda has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, great piece of hitting from Ryland there, taking that outside pitch the other way, and he was thinking double right out of the box. Had his head down, ready to make it into second safely, which he did. Great job reading that ball off the bat and the placement in the outfield to get a runner in scoring position.
Ben Giovanetti steps in, made his debut in yesterday's game, went 1 for 4 with 2 RBI, walked and had a sac fly. Giovanetti actually a member of this Sonoma squad last season where he had 53 at-bats, was under the Mendoza line. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Giovanetti plays his college ball at Ball State over in the Midwest in my neck of the woods. Hometown is Redwood City, California, so he's home here for the summer in the Golden State. Swings at the 1-0 and can hear the crack of that bat, but skied it foul.
Another guy who played some football in high school, some varsity football, and doesn't he look like a football player in the box? Really well built, strong upper half and lower half. in a stance that looks like he's ready to strike.
6 foot, 200-pound frame, and you mention it. Carries a lot of strength in that frame. Waits the 1-1 from Harper. Big swing and a miss. Coach Fairfield said, really knew Giovanetti can hit, but was really impressed in his debut yesterday by the movement skills, especially on the defensive end. We won't get a chance to see that today as he's DHing, hitting in the 3 spot, but something to watch out for. Could be playing first base down the line for this Merchants team. The 1-2 as Harper checks in on Ryland at second, now kicks and fires, that one high for ball 2.
Don't know how much Ryland would be thinking about going to third here anyway, but both of these teams are aggressive on the base pass. And with Luke Duncan behind the plate, that's going to be a really interesting cat and mouse game because he's got some impressive pop times that he records behind the plate.
The 2-2 swung on and sent back over the head of Harper, and that'll dribble into the outfield. That grass, it's Ryland heading home. No play at the plate. He'll slide in. Alameda takes an early lead thanks to a single from Ben Giovanetti.
Of course, we talk about the big frame and all the pop that he's got, and what does he do? He taps a little dribbler, little seeing eye grounder that makes it through to center field. They all count the same, and the Merchants take an early lead here.
Now batting, number
And we
5,
saw this last time these
Turner.
two teams played earlier last week. Merchants won 4-3. That one was in Sonoma thanks to a 3-run first inning for Alameda. Wasn't much scoring after that. But Alameda able to get to Sonoma early. Some deja vu for Sonoma now with 1 out. Now a runner on first and 1 run already scored. It's Cy Turner. Still without a hit so far this season in 15 plate appearances. Yesterday was 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Taps a pitch foul. Making the count 1-1.
Turner, a late addition into this lineup. Originally was going to be on the bench. Had to be subbed in. How about being subbed in at the last minute, hitting cleanup against a lefty?
Big spot here. 1-1 count. Takes the pitch low and away. You mentioned it, Kyle, briefly last at bat, but behind the dish today is Duncan for the Stompers. Luke Duncan, who listed as a pitcher on their roster. He has played some two-way ball for this team, but we were a little bit surprised to see his name in the starting lineup as that pitch right in the zone for strike 2, making the count 2-2. Rounding out this Sonoma defense from left to right in the infield will be Shepler, Boardman, Libby, and Lazul. In the outfield, Sebastiani, Akers, and Shannon. Back to the action, a 2-2 count to Cy Turner. Runner on first, 1 out. Harper rocks and fires. That one swung on. Tapped over to the shortstop, Boardman. Gets the lead runner at second, but Cy Turner will leg it out in time. So a chance for a double play, but Sonoma able to record just 1 out. Nonetheless, a productive out. Keeps the runner on first and 2 outs now.
Not a whole lot of hard
Batting,
contact
21, Emmett Finney.
against Harper this inning. That was another tapper that happened to find the shortstop who waited back on that ball. Perhaps if he had charged it, made a little bit more of an aggressive play, they would have been able to turn 2.
Now Emmett Finney steps in. Bat rocking on his shoulders, but it doesn't fire it on the first pitch. It was high and away for ball 1. Yesterday, Finney 1 for 5 with an RBI and a walk. After a scorching start to the season, he's just one of his last 8, but still very good metrics. .333 batting average, .579 on base percentage in 19 plate appearances. Swings through a 1-0 pitch on the outside part of the plate.
You mentioned before the game, Ethan, how the Merchants offense recently has taken a lot of first pitches for balls. Coach Fairfield talked about maybe that indicates they're getting a little bit more comfortable in the box as this summer continues to go on. And I've got 4 of the first 5 hitters taking the first pitch out of the zone. That bodes well for their at-bats as this game goes on. Not so well for Harper on the mound. Right now he is ahead, though, 1-2.
You mentioned 1-2 count. Harper fires. The runner is going. Cy Turner dashes for second. He's in there safely. Got a good jump on Harper and able to advance 90 feet into scoring position.
Really good jump, and that pitch was way further outside than Duncan expected, so he couldn't get in a great position to throw. I was going to mention earlier, he's registered some incredible pop times. 1.86 measured by Perfect Game, that ranked number 3 in California in 2024. With that pop time, didn't get to show it off there.
The 2-2 softly hit up the middle. It'll be a close play at the bag. A nice play by Boardman to show off his range and make the throw over to Lazul to record the third out of the inning. But Alameda scores one, courtesy of an RBI single from Ben Giovanetti after the double from Ryland. The Alameda Merchants lead by 1 after 1. Top of the second on the Merchants Broadcast Network. Ethan Siegel and Kyle Floyd on the call as Alameda jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Due up is 5-6-7 for Sonoma, starting with
number 45,
first baseman, DH today actually, Paul Lazul. Plays his collegiate ball at Monterey Peninsula College. Watches Airhorn's first pitch go by him, ball 1.
Yeah, Lazul, as you mentioned, a freshman, went through a bit of a transformation throughout high school to put himself in position to be where he is today. Says that up until his freshman year of high school, he was a good player, but he admitted he was overweight, and that was holding him back, he said, from being the best that he can be. So he says that he lost 25 pounds, put on 10 pounds of muscle entering his sophomore year. Exploded his last couple years at Newberry High School and earned himself a spot at Monterey Peninsula College, as you mentioned.
An impressive transformation and storyline for Lazul, who after fouling a pitch back and taking one, has fallen behind 1-2 in this count. Lazul, 6'3" frame, an awfully big strike zone. Airhorn tried to paint the corner of it on that one, but just missed ball 2. Lazul this past season at Monterey Peninsula, 24 games, hit 197. Drew more walks than he struck out. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Cole Airhorn gets his first strikeout of the day. Lazul goes down swinging, and you can hear that Airhorn blaring in the background for Cole Airhorn as he gets a K.
Now batting number 19, Adam Alarbi.
Yeah, nice pitch on the outside corner there. Went something off speed to get him out in front, out of the same tunnel as the fastball from the previous pitch. Good pitching there from Cole Airhorn.
So Adam Alarbi steps in. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Alarbi at Modesto Junior College, played 38 games this past year. Low outside for ball 1. Alarbi hit .266. Not a super favorable walk to strikeout ratio, just 10 walks to 31 strikeouts, but was able to put the bat on the ball plenty. Another pitch outside for ball 2.
Another one of those guys who, after a first year that probably didn't go as he wanted, has an opportunity to turn the tides here during the summer and put some good stuff on tape.
A third consecutive take and a third consecutive pitch, missing the zone, this time high, making the count 3-1. Already this season has 3 walks in his 9 plate appearances. Still without a hit this summer so far. That pitch just clipped the outside part of the zone. A good pitch to get the second strike.
Good frame job there from Winchell behind the plate as well to catch that outside corner.
So now a full count. Airhorn versus LRB. Airhorn kicks and unloads. Went to the slider, but just slid out of the strike zone. Base on balls. For the second straight inning, a 1-out runner reaches base, this time courtesy of a walk.
Yeah, you want to get him to chase on that 3-2 slider, but maybe want to have that a little bit lower in the dirt. It was higher in the zone where you can get a better read on the spin. Bit of an easy take for LRB there. Keep an eye on him at first base. He had 5 stolen bases this spring, 5 for 5.
So now it's Brady Shannon. He takes strike 1. Shannon of Youngstown State, originally from Youngstown, Ohio, an area of the country I know quite well, actually. And Shannon's been hot as of late. This past game against the Seagulls on Sunday, 2 for 5, 2 RBI, a triple, and a stolen base as Shannon falls behind 0-2. Worth mentioning that these fans, if you are hearing jittering excitement, it's because Brady Shannon is the hot dog batter, meaning if he strikes out, everyone here in the Alameda crowd gets $2 hot dogs for the rest of the night. So needing to protect the plate here now. Down 0-2, Airhorn delivers. This one in the dirt, runner goes. Winchell won't even throw down. So LRB able to steal second base, putting a runner in scoring position for Brady Shannon.
And you can see that coming on each of the previous pitches. LRB was taking a pretty healthy secondary lead. He was going to run at some point in that at-bat. Pitch in the dirt made it easy for him.
Now the 1-2. Airhorn checks on the runner. A pitch tapped into the end of the infield. Jace Jeremiah scoops it up and tosses it over, but unable to glove it is Finney. Would have been a close play at first base anyways. I think that'll be ruled a single. Runner advances to third. So now runners on the corners with 1 out.
And Jaden Harper was the victim of a couple of those kinds of tappers in the first inning. Now Airhorn is another victim. Got him reaching outside for a fastball. Not a bad pitch at all. It's the contact you want. Just placed perfectly if you are Brady Shannon.
Against Cole Airhorn, we've already seen a handful of sharply hit balls toward the middle of the infield. Haven't seen much elevated so far against him. That's Nick Sebastiani. A throwdown. I'll catch the runner in the pickle, but obviously with a runner at third base, you need to be aware of the lead runner.
4-6.
They'll get the runner out at second, but a runner will score. A miscue for Alameda's defense as LRB dashes home to score. It was Shannon trying to steal on the play. And Winchell tossed down to second to try and get him out, which they did, but in doing so, allow a runner to score. So suddenly we go from a big RBI situation for Nick Sebastiani with runners on the corner and 1 out to suddenly bases empty, 2 outs. But Sonoma has tied this ball game.
Yeah, not a great jump from Shannon there. You wonder if that's almost a planned play there to try to get him confused on defense and get that runner home from third, which is exactly what happened, especially a team only a few games in, only so much time to practice plays like that. And credit to Sonoma. They took advantage of a defense that was not quite on top of their game there.
Sebastiani behind 0-2. Airhorn kicks and fires. That one tapped very softly to the third baseman Dittmer. He'll pick it up with his bare hand and no play to be made. That one just a soft chopper, essentially a swinging bunt awkwardly off of the bat of Sebastiani, will go down as a single.
That's been the story of these first couple innings. Soft contact that turns into something good for the offense. If you're Airhorn, you are coming in only expecting 2, maybe 3 innings. It looked like he was cruising to the end of his second, but having some trouble getting out of this one with 2 outs.
So it looks like we'll have a meeting between the umpires here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Looks like might be discussing whether that ball tapped foul or off of Sebastiani before trickling into the infield. Any idea what they could be talking about here?
That would be my guess. And they call him safe at first base. There was some weird English off the bat there that suggested that maybe something like that did happen, but apparently not, according to Angela Nuri and the other umpires who conferred.
26, Luke Duncan.
So now the 9-hitter, Luke Duncan, catching in today's game. Usually a pitcher steps in with a runner on first, 2 outs. Has had a few plate appearances so far this summer, 0 for 3 with an RBI and a hit by pitch. As the runner goes on the first pitch, but swung on, Jeremiah backs up and takes it off of one hop, tosses it over to Finney to record the 3rd out. But the Stompers get one back to tie this game at 1. To the bottom of the 2nd we go on the Merchant Streaming Network.
2 hits, 1 left for the Stompers. It's 1-1 heading to the bottom of the 2nd.
Running wild again. A lot of fast guys, not a lot.
Oh my gosh. That was really great.
By the way, my mic is turned upside down. Got the right setup.
One ball game, bottom of the 2nd. Alameda, after surrendering a run in the away half of the frame, will try to retake the lead here in the bottom of the 2nd. 6, 7, 8 due up, starting with the shortstop, Jace Jeremiah. It appears to be Jaden Harper out on the bump for a 2nd inning of work.
Leading off for the Merchants, number 3, Jace Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, another one of these Merchants players who has quickly become a mainstay in the starting lineup. Started all 7 games on the season, and he's certainly earned that everyday spot, hitting .400 so far on the season, a .464 on-base percentage as he takes ball 1, and OPS approaching 1,000. Has been absolutely excellent with a batting average and balls in play of .533. Jeremiah settled into that 6th spot in the lineup. Provides plenty of contact, very low strikeout rate as he takes a strike in the zone.
Real strong defender at shortstop, too. It'd be remiss if I didn't mention the throw that he made on that last play to close the top of the 2nd. That's a big league throw from deep in the hole that he made at shortstop and made look easy.
Yeah, fun fact about Jeremiah was a junior Olympic gold medalist in Taekwondo, and you can see some of those movement skills on display with that range you were just talking about, Kyle, at shortstop, as the 2-1 pitch skied foul.
Well done there, Ethan. I've been trying to find a way to work that into the broadcast for a few games now. Well done.
Yeah, I'm
So
curious
he's a
if we can see any Taekwondo moves on the field. I don't really know if there's a natural way, maybe as a celebration or something, as the 2-2 pitch is outside, loading the count full.
He tends to show some good discipline at the plate as well. I imagine.
Discipline, probably an important part of the martial arts.
See, we got it. We got it.
Now the payoff pitch from Harper. Swung on, lifted, foul. So Jeremiah stays alive. Similar to Ryland, Jace Jeremiah has reached base safely in all 6 games so far this season. Ryland was able to extend that streak to 7 with a double last inning. Jeremiah trying to keep that up as well. He's got 3 multi-hit games so far on the young season. The payoff pitch once again. Kick and delivery high. Ball 4. 4th walk of the season for Jace Jeremiah, and the lead runner is aboard.
Some of that good discipline that we were talking about. It's something that you can count on from Ryland, from Jeremiah. Really everybody up and down this lineup is really good deep at bats. If you're going to get them out, the Merchants make you work for it. It's especially impressive against Harper, who set the record for strikeouts at Ohlone College. Just 1 strikeout so far in the first 6 hitters.
Jeremiah always a threat on the base paths. Already 5 stolen bases through 6 games this season. It's Riley Winchell, a catcher, takes the first pitch for a strike.
That was a pretty breaking ball. Dropped in there on the inside corner from Harper.
The 0-1 pitch. High for ball 1. Winchell, in yesterday's win that snapped a 2-game skid for Alameda, Winchell was 2 for 2 with a double. Hitting .375 this season, albeit this just being his 10th plate appearance of the summer. The 1-1 outside.
Harper's struggling a little bit with that fastball command. First batter against Nahar, he was able to get a few by him, but since then, better command with the off-speed stuff than the fastball, as evidence there.
Yeah, he goes straight to the off-speed on the 2-1, and that one settled in nicely into the zone. Froze up Winchell to set the count even at 2-2. Jace Jeremiah still rocking back and forth a few steps off of first base. Harper checks on him. Now fires in the 2-2. That one nabs the end of the zone for strike 3. A backwards K for Jaden Harper. Winchell trots back into the dugout.
File that under announcer jinx, right? Right as I say that they've done well to not strike out. Snaps off a few pretty breaking balls. That one painted on the outside corner, and Winchell had no chance.
Noah Smallwood, lead hitter. Watches ball 1 go by him. Still without a hit so far this season, 0 for 8. 10 official plate appearances, and last time we saw him after a few days rest was in the last home game. It was 0 for 4 in that game, had 4 strikeouts and 2 absolutely crushing errors in the field in what was a heartbreaking loss, a comeback effort by Walnut Creek. And we asked Coach T.C. Fairfield about, the mentality of a player coming back from a game, and he said the best way to do it is just acknowledge it. Be like, you know what, you were not good today, and we all saw it, but we know that's not you. And he said that Smallwood's just going to have to shake that off and be the player he usually is as he swings at the 2-0 pitch and ropes it toward the Merchant dugout.
And that's the key. You got to remember who you are even after a performance like that. Smallwood was great in 2024 at Seminole State College in Florida. He earned second-team all-conference honors as well as gold glove honors, so we know he can field on the infield. We know he can swing it with the bat. Just a tough outing last time that you got to flush and move on.
Harper checked in on Jeremiah at first. He walked back to first base. Multiple moments to spare. Now Harper refocuses his attention on the hitter. 2-1. Good pitch in the outside half of the plate. Evens the count at 2s.
And he got the call that time, but that fastball has really been leaking off the outside corner to these right-handed hitters. It seems like the game plan is fastballs away, breaking balls in.
So now the 2-2 pitch. Fired, strike 3 swinging. Noah Smallwood. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jaden Harper. That's Smallwood's 6th strikeout on the season, over half of his plate appearances, and ended in the K. Not the start to the season you would hope if you're Noah Smallwood.
No, but you can understand why. That fastball was well placed. A lot of arm side run as well. Good pitch from Harper. Surprised to see no movement from Jeremiah so far at first base. We'll see if that changes here with 2 outs.
Yeah, Jeremiah's been standing on first base ever since a walk to start the inning. Since then, 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Brings up the 9-hitter Chase Dittmer, another guy who struggled to get his footing so far in the early part of this season. Batting average under 100 so far after he started the year 0 for 10. Didn't play yesterday, but recorded his first hit in the previous game. The 0-1 pitch, a good one. Dittmer behind 0-2.
Harper's feeling it now. Breaking ball painted the outside corner for the first pitch. Comes back with the fastball towards the inside corner. Tough sledding for Dittmer to earn his way back into this at bat.
2 strikes, 2 outs. Harper fires, swing and a miss. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts to close out this second inning. We're all tied at 1 after 2.
No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left for the Merchants. It's 1-1 heading to the top of the third.
Cole Airhorn out for another inning of work through 2. He's been relatively sharp, more reminiscent of his first appearance of the season than his second. Most recently played on June 7th against the Crawdads when in 1.2 innings he surrendered 4 runs. It was a tough loss for Alameda. Lineup card turns over as Boardman swings at one and sends it back into the fence. For strike 1, you can see jams up our camera. Try and readjust that momentarily to get you guys the optimal angle of our game.
I'm on it, Ethan.
Looks like Kyle will go to take care of that. You can see in live time the problem solving here in the booth. This is Summer League baseball here. Certainly not luxurious, as count is 1-1 as I remain here on the broadcast. As seems like our audio feed is still going. That one roped back toward Airhorn. Going to be a tough play to make for the shortstop, Jeremiah. That'll go down as a single for Colton Boardman to lead things off here in the top of the third.
Now batting number 52, Anthony Shepler.
Bring up the third baseman, Anthony Shepler. Reached via the error the last time up. So you can see that camera being adjusted. Thank you to Kyle. He swings at the first pitch and lifts it into shallow left field. 3 Merchants converge. Calling the play is Jeremiah. Bit of an awkward catch to be able to grab that one. As the shortstop records the first out of the inning to keep the runner at first.
Now batting number 33, Landon Akers.
Wow, that's good.
Akers, the center fielder, reached via fielder's choice back in the first inning as we're still trying to get that camera angle set for you properly. He'll get ahead 2-0 against Airhorn. Boardman on first. Has a handful of steals in the young season. Airhorn fires the 2-0. Finds the strike zone now, making the count 2-1. Airhorn kicks and delivers. The runner goes, but that ball swung on, sent into center field. He'll send the runner back as that is straight into the glove of Nahar. Second out of the inning. And Boardman trots back to first base safely. Second out of the inning is recorded. As Kyle, welcome back to the broadcast booth. Thanks for the quick fix.
I got to meet one of our, I'd say, top tier spectators out there in the crowd who assured me that this camera angle will pass for at least the rest of this inning. You might know her name. I don't know her name yet, but somebody who's close to you who's in town.
Oh yeah,
gave me confirmation.
That would be you're right. One of our most loyal fans. That would be my mom, who's in attendance here at Pat Bale Field.
She knew my name and made me feel real big time.
You are big time. As the 1-0 pitch finds the strike zone. McCann Libby.
Tell you who's big time right now is Airhorn. You mentioned his struggles his last time out. But when his command is good, he's as good as anybody out there on the mound.
Airhorn with that thin and wiry frame. Fires in a 1-1 pitch. There's that slider, Kyle. So beautiful, that breaking movement. It really does look like a fastball out of the hand, and then just has so much of that late movement to freeze up hitters, generate swings and misses.
Almost kind of a crossfire delivery, too, reminiscent of Tim Lincecum. That thin, wiry frame, and it's coming from a high arm slot. Real tough to pick up out of the hand for a right-handed hitter.
No surprise that Airhorn says his favorite athlete, and the one he models his game after, Tim Lincecum.
There you go.
After a quick break, a 1-2 count against McCann Libby. Airhorn fires as the runner set to go again, but it won't matter. Strike 3. Airhorn gets him going, and that horn blares in the background.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 left.
Impressive response after giving up a single by Airhorn. Score remains 1-1. Bottom of the third coming up next.
Couldn't see that pass.
Yep. Day out well, getting Nahar down swinging.
Yeah, it's starting. Trying to get the angle right after.
Swings at the 0-1 as well. Got a piece of it, but into the
No, we didn't.
glove of Duncan. Strike 2. So Nahar now having to play some defense. Coach Fairfield called him a true leadoff hitter for his ability to get veteran at-bats. That's going to be put to the test here. Spoils one to extend this at-bat. So now the 0-2 pitch once again. Harper fires the 0-2. That one slapped sharply to the shortstop. A little bit of alliteration for you, but the out is recorded nonetheless. Boardman over to Lazul for the first out here in the bottom of the third.
Slap sharply to the shortstop. That's pretty good there.
Now batting, number 12.
Siegel says it
Ryman.
slapped sharply to the shortstop. Another good start to the inning by Jaden Harper. Afraid I really jinxed this Merchants offense ever since I said, hey, didn't quite have the strikeout stuff. He's started to really settle into a rhythm on the mound.
It'll bring up Ryland, who had a double to the opposite field in his last plate appearance. Watches the first strike go by him, an 87-mile-per-hour pitch. And in his first appearance, Jaden Harper was throwing first pitch strikes at a below-average rate, under 50%. He's been excellent at that so far in today's game. Consistently working ahead as Ryland gets a good piece of that one. Gloved in the bare hand, actually, the right fielder Shannon, but Ryland reaches once again with a single here in the third inning. That's 2 at-bats, 2 hits for Ben Ryland.
And he's playing pepper with the outfield at this point.
Ben Giovanetti.
Went the other way to left field in his first at-bat. That time reached out and sizzled a liner into right field on a breaking ball. Great showing in the early going from Ryland.
Ryland just so good at putting bat on ball. Ben Giovanetti brought Ryland home last time. Single right back in the direction of Harper. Falls behind with another first pitch strike for Harper. It's the lefty. Looks at Ryland, then fires in a pitch high in the zone to get a swing and a miss. Now works ahead 0-2.
And Harper's really good about varying his looks. Pad runners on. I've been wondering why the Merchants haven't been a little bit more aggressive, but he's been doing a good job holding the runners there.
Especially with a lefty, able to look right at. Harder to get that jump. The 0-2. Giovanetti stays alive.
Seen him a couple times. He'll give a couple looks over there. Sometimes he'll look once, quickly come to the plate. Really good at playing with the timing of those base runners.
Giovanetti, a guy who's well-traveled. His freshman year at De Anza College, followed up by a year at Skyline College, now Ball State University. As now the runner goes, but will have to head back. Ryland got a good jump, timed it up perfectly, but with Giovanetti spoiling another pitch, he'll track back towards first base.
Bad decision by Giovanetti there. That was a mistake that rattled in, but a mistake pitch 0-2 fastball. Good one to hit, and Harper's fortunate to get away with that one.
So we'll do the 0-2 pitch for the third time now. Harper kicks and fires, this time in the dirt. Force him to retreat.
It's a good two-strike pitch by Harper. Better take by Giovanetti, especially coming off that fastball from the previous pitch.
So now the sixth pitch of the at-bat between Harper and Giovanetti. And we'll get a seventh as that one sent into foul territory.
Mistake from Harper there.
Ball clips the zone. A no contest stolen base.
I'm a little electric right now. It's frozen.
I don't think
Not sure. Not sure. Just kind of stopped. It looks like the audio is still registering. Find out.
Now pitching for the Merchants, number 27, Dominic Crescencio, and leading off for the Stompers.
A new pitcher into the game here to start the fourth inning for Alameda. It'll be the lefty Dom Crescencio. Fires the first pitch in for a ball.
Yeah, good work by Airhorn those first 3 innings. They were able to squeeze 3 out of him, all things considered. Did give up the 1 run, but not a whole lot of hard contact given up, and now he passes it off to Crescencio here.
Crescencio falls behind 2-0 to Paul Lazul, the first baseman. Crescencio, a collection of fastball changeup slider. He's currently uncommitted with 4 years of eligibility remaining after not playing this past season. Still can't find the strike zone on the 2-0 pitch. Has 1 appearance so far this summer, played on the 7th against the Crawdads, went 2 innings, allowing 4 hits and 1 run, struck out 3 and walked 1 through 26 of his 43 pitches for strikes. A somewhat surprising call on a 3-0 pitch. That looked right down Broadway to me, Kyle, but home plate umpire Angela Nuri disagrees, and it'll lead to a leadoff walk for Paul Lazul.
Adam Albari.
I think the only person who thought that was not a strike was the only person who mattered. Leadoff walks, last thing that you want starting out as a pitcher, especially coming in from the bullpen, and we know that Sonoma's going to be running.
First pitch swung on, sent in the direction of the right fielder. It lands just foul, it looks like. A very late call from the first base umpire, Harvey Maxey. From my perception, as Cy Turner was trying to track that one down, it was clearly foul, but it took a few seconds for Harvey Maxey to agree.
Yeah, definitely a foul ball. Runner was already at second base, but that pitch got in on the hands to Al Arby. Fouled it off weakly to the right side.
So that's how Crescenzio records his first strike of the day. Returns by throwing one high out of the zone for ball one against Adam Alarbi.
And it's almost like he's just losing grip on the baseball. That breaking ball seemed to slip out of his hands. Fastballs to Lazul were kind of all over the place, just struggling to find some consistency with his grip, it looks like, is Crescenzio.
The 1-1 forces Alarbi off the plate, but it was perfectly down in the zone. 1-2 last time up back in the second inning. Alarbi walked and stole 2 bases, including home on a play that we have been talking about so far all evening when Winchell tried to gun the runner down at second, allowing Alarbi to come home and score. It's the Stompers' lone run of the game as he skies one into the shallow right center field. Calling off the second baseman is the right fielder, Turner. He makes the play for the first out. Some good communication there by Alameda's defense. And Kyle, we've been talking about it. So far in this young CCL season, we have seen lots of, we can call them defensive miscues. It's certainly been far from the cleanest play. Some sloppy balls, some crooked numbers in the error column, and it's going to be really important. Some of these teams that are advancing into the playoffs, into the postseason, are going to be some of the ones with the best defense, not just the teams who are scorching the ball on offense. Defense is going to be really massive this summer in the CCL.
Definitely going to be the separator, and the Merchants like what they have at a lot of spots defensively. Is that pitch is fouled off to the right. Nahar, very good defender in center field, a lot of speed. Ryland is reliable in left, and Turner showed a lot of speed on back-to-back plays, getting his steps in, ranged really far into foul territory to his left on the pitch before, then came all the way in to snare that pop-up. So you have to like what you have in the outfield if you're the Merchants.
It's the 0-1 pitch from Crescenzio. Once again, forces a batter to shoulder away from the pitch, but it's in the strike zone. Now Crescenzio's ahead 0-2, and after struggling with command to start this inning, Crescenzio may have found his footing. Has some pitches to play with now ahead of Brady Shannon. The 0-2 tried to generate a swing and miss at a pitch lifted above the strike zone, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, you almost wonder if it's something about the way that Crescenzio finishes his pitches, maybe. The times that he's really dotted that inside corner, it seems like these right-handed hitters see it coming right at them.
So now the 1-2 with Lazul on first is not a competitive pitch, evening the count at 2-2. And those were those pitches I mentioned that he had to play with. Now, he's got to throw something in or near the strike zone. Can't play around now with a count evened up at 2 apiece.
Shannon does have a penchant to strike out as well, so you can get him to chase out of the zone, but got to be competitive, like you said.
Shannon lifts one towards right field. Cy Turner once again getting his cardio in. Unable to get to that one in time, so the count will stay at 2-2. You mentioned that propensity for striking out for Shannon. This past season at Youngstown State, hit .236 on the year with 10 home runs, some good numbers, but 25 walks to 69 strikeouts, a truly whopping number for the right fielder.
That's how you become the hot dog player of the game? Is that what we're calling it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, hot dog batter of the game.
Yeah.
But once again, with 2 strikes here, the fans waiting in anticipation. They'll have to wait a little bit longer as Crescenzio checks in on the runner at first. Lazul back with plenty of time.
Lazul mentioned earlier, 5 for 5 this spring on stolen bases. I want to mention Winchell had 2 runners caught stealing in the Merchants' last game, so strength versus strength here.
The 2-2, just a little bit high and away, so now the count is full against Brady Shannon.
A lot of strikeouts from Shannon, but you see why he might want to stay away as well. A lot of power. Slugged .460 this spring. Big 6'3", 220 right-handed hitter. Also plays quarterback at Youngstown State. Look at him in the box, you see why.
The payoff pitch, the breaking ball just misses. Oh, it was a close one, Kyle, but Brady Shannon draws a walk. Now runners on first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, he froze him on the breaking ball. I'm guessing
Now batting number 6,
that was
Nick
ruled that it
Sebastiani.
stayed high, definitely over the plate.
I would love to know where that one missed. I'm not going to lie. It must have been high. I do agree with your assessment there. But it brings up Sebastiani. Cristinzio fires first pitch in there. Ball 1. Sebastiani has played with Sonoma each of the past 2 summers. Last year, just 29 at-bats, but hit .345 and stole 4 bases. Also pitched a little bit as he ropes one out into left center field. That'll fall, and coming around to score is Lazul. He'll get in safely. An RBI single for Sebastiani. Now runners on first and second, and Sonoma takes the lead here in the top of the 4th inning.
Pitch got a little bit too much of the plate. Sebastiani was a little bit out in front of it, but was able to get some good wood on it and drop it into left field to give the Stompers the lead.
No chance to get things back in regulation here. It's the 1-0 off-speed pitch, 70 miles per hour, perfectly placed into the glove of Winchell.
And that's the good tight breaking ball that he wants to throw. That's the one that we saw a lot the first time we saw Cristinzio this summer. It's the one that he's had some trouble with. He's got to locate that if he's going to get out of this inning.
The 1-1, big swing and a miss, and another breaking ball.
And he's fortunate there. That one also looked like it leaked outside, maybe slipped out of his hand a little bit, but he got Duncan to chase it.
Duncan the righty, guess Cristinzio the lefty. The 1-2 pitch, just softly touched and sent foul to keep this at-bat alive. Still just 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
Went right back to that same pitch too. Got a foul ball. Wonder if he might have the advantage if he wants to go fastball.
Cristinzio checks in on the runner at second, then fires one in. That one slapped into center field, Nahara under it. He loves it and tosses. It'll keep the runner at third, but now bases loaded after another single. This one coming from Luke Duncan.
Luke Duncan says advantage that. He was ready for the fastball. He was thinking the same thing. Good enough location. It was on the inside corner, but like I said, Duncan was ready. He pulled the hands in, and that was probably the hardest hit ball of the evening for the Stompers.
That's 3 straight runners reaching base. Walk, single, a handful of it coming after Cristinzio was able to work ahead or get 2 strikes in the at-bat. Still just a 2-1 game, trying to keep things from getting worse. And you know, sitting here at a 1-run ball game, we saw the first game between these 2 teams finish with a 4-3 final score. Last year, these 2 teams faced off against one another 8 different times. Of those 8, 5 1-run games. So these teams play in close matches, make that 6 1-run games if you include the one early in this season. And currently with a 2-1 score, we could be heading toward another close game, although it's still early in this one.
Still early, and both of these teams have really good rosters. A lot of good athleticism, really well balanced in terms of pitching and offense. So it's going to come down to things like defense, and especially in the case of Cristinzio, he doesn't have enough velocity-wise to get away with not being able to locate that breaking ball. And since he's come in, he really hasn't had that. When he can place that in the strike zone, he can get batters on their heels, but he hasn't been able to do that so far, and that's why he's in trouble here with the bases loaded. He's got to find the command of that off speed if he's going to get out of this.
Cristinzio swings on the first pitch. Is Boardman. 1 run will come in to score, and that will be it. Boardman saw a pitch he liked immediately and swung on it, and that is a 3rd consecutive single for Sonoma. This one an RBI single, and Sonoma extends its lead to 3-1.
And that looked to me like a fastball towards the inside corner, but again, like Duncan was able to pull the hands in, Boardman was able to do the same and get it past the second baseman there.
Cristinzio staying in to clean up the mess that he is responsible for. He came in to start this 4th inning and has really struggled in lieu of Cole Airhorn. First pitch ball out of the 3rd baseman, Anthony Shepler. Reached on an error back in the 1st. A pop out to the shortstop in the 3rd. Chance to do some real damage with bases loaded here. Big swing and a miss. The catcher, Winchell, throws down to 3rd, and Dittmer was there. Oh, man. Third base umpire Ricardo Rodriguez rules him out, says that shoulder was just tagged in time. Shannon gunned down by the catcher, Winchell. You mentioned he had a few caught stealings already in this season. How about that? Noticing an aggressive jump on the play from Shannon.
I was getting ready to...
Or from Sebastiani, excuse me, and tosses down. And that really changes the arithmetic of this inning. Is now Shepler skies one to the shortstop. Jeremiah's under it. And he records the out. Goes from bases loaded, 1 out, to suddenly runner gun down, infield pop out. Things had a chance to look real dicey there for Dom Crestinzio, but he escapes a bases loaded jam nonetheless. 2 runs come across for Sonoma.
3-1 heading to the
Stompers take a 3-1 lead as we head into the bottom of the 4th.
Thank you very much. You get out of
Now pitching for the Stompers, number 15, Ryan Seo.
New pitcher into the game for Sonoma. It's the right-hander Ryan Seo. If you're taking a look at him warming up here, you can see a submariner in approach. It's that funky arm slot all the way on the side. Not a full underhand a la Adam Simber or Trevor Rogers, but definitely coming around the side there. Has some snap as well as a breaking ball in the low 70s. Fastball was more mid-80s range. Senior at Cal State Fullerton. Formerly of Sacramento City College before transferring this past year at Cal State Fullerton. 15 appearances for Seo, 17 innings pitched, a glistening 2.12 ERA and 220 batting average against.
Leading off for the Merchants, number 3,
Jace Jeremiah will be the first to face Seo. You know, Alameda has a handful of submariners on their own roster, but per my count, this will be the first one they've faced in game action so far this year.
And well-timed for Sonoma. 5 right-handed hitters coming up for Alameda. It'll be a tough look for all of them.
First pitch strike to Jeremiah. So far this summer, Seo's been a master at those first pitch strikes, over 80%. Jeremiah walked back in the second inning.
I want to go back to the end of the top of the 4th if we can, Ethan.
Please, yeah.
Such a huge mistake to get picked off of third base right there. I was going to mention that Dittmer was pinched in at the corner. That was a planned play. You know that Winchell's got a good arm, and you know that you have Crestinzio on the ropes. We talked about how evenly matched these teams are, and it's going to be about defense and execution plays like that that are going to make the difference. They really bailed him out of that inning.
Absolutely. It's something we could be looking back on as one of the more pivotal moments in today's game as Jeremiah falls behind 0-2. In order to look back at that and be able to think that it does require Alameda to post some runs here. Got plenty of time to do so, but that won't help. Jace Jeremiah goes down swinging. Ryan Seo enters the game and immediately gets his first strikeout of the day, just continuing exactly where Jaden Harper left off, getting a K.
And uncharacteristic for Jeremiah, he goes down chasing. I think that's a good example of how tough it is to read the pitch out of the pitcher's hand with that arm slot. That was a high fastball, but it kind of comes through the zone and ends above the zone from the perspective of Jeremiah. So tough to lay off.
And it only took 3 pitches, and extremely rare for that to happen against Chase Jeremiah, who entered today's game with only a 7% strikeout rate in the first 6 games of the season. Brings up the catcher Riley Winchell, who, as you were just mentioning, made that huge defensive play in the top of the inning to steal an out away from Sonoma and limit the damage at just 2 runs. He swings through a pitch to make the count 1-1. Winchell, the freshman at Pacific University, takes the pitch in the zone, making the count 1-2.
So really settling in here. First fastball had a little two-seam action towards the outer part of the plate. That time he started a breaking ball on the front hip of Winchell. Real tough look.
So now the 1-2 pitch from the Submariner. Strike 3. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Ryan Seo. An impressive first 2 batters in the game for Seo. And on the day, it's already the 8th Merchant batter to go down via the strikeout. We haven't even completed 4 innings so far. It's a Merchants team that really relies on putting the ball in play, not going to bring a ton of power. Lots of walks and singles, as that one will be a single. Actually, could be an error. That one off the bat of Noah Smallwood. If it's a single, that'll be his first hit of the season. Breaking out of a early season funk, put the bat on the first pitch from Seo, who is looking to strike out the side here in the bottom of the 4th, but Noah Smallwood instead
number 7,
rounds one back in his direction and reaches first base.
Yeah, I think that's a play that's got to be made. If you're Libby at second base, just muffed it.
I would call this.
A brief stoppage before Chase Dittmer will step in. If this Alameda lineup can get more production from those 8 and 9 spots, to turn over the lineup card would really change what this lineup is capable of offensively. As that play is officially ruled as an E4. So Smallwood will have to wait on his first hit of the year, but reaches base nonetheless as Dittmer watches a first pitch strike. First base coach wasn't there for Alameda. Trots over for Smallwood to toss his batting gloves over to, as Dittmer falls behind 0-2.
Seo struggled a lot with his command this spring. 13 walks in 17 innings. You wouldn't know it the way he's looked this inning. Just painting the corners.
Looking for another strikeout, and he gets it. A huge swing and a miss on a pitch outside the zone. 3 strikeouts in the 4th inning for Ryan Seo.
Is 3-1. We're heading
And Sonoma holds on to its 2-run lead as we enter the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere.
Now pitching for the Merchants, number 32, Jackson Garcia.
Jackson Garcia in the game for Alameda after a tough top of the fourth for Dominic Crestinzio Garcia. Chabot College.
Leading off for the Stompers.
6.75 ERA this most recent season in 17 innings pitched. So far this season, or this summer I should say, has looked good doing it. Inherited a few runners in his last outing, but struck out 3, holds an ERA of 0. It's the first pitch to Akers is taken for ball 1. Garcia offers fastball, curveball, changeup, cutter. That fastball in the high 80s, and then a slew of those off-speed pitches, which all sit around in the high 70s. Gets a strike with one of them there.
Real interesting stance from Akers. Got the hands up high, back elbow sort of pointing upwards.
Nonetheless, Akers skies one into right center field. It's going to be a tough play for Turner, who trails back to the warning track and records the out. It's been a handful of times, Kyle. We've seen Cy Turner show off his range into foul territory. Forward, moving backwards, looking like I would say he's there, but he's been doing it in right field.
Yeah, and it's a testament to what the Merchants have out there on defense. A lot of speed, especially in center and right. They can cover a lot of ground.
So it brings up McCann Libby, the second baseman, 0 for 2 today so far with a strikeout and a groundout. Garcia fires the first pitch, and that one came in hot and left the bat even hotter, but foul. So far, McCann Libby this summer entered today's game hitting .286, already has a homer on the season and 8 RBIs leading this team. The 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball, perfectly looped in to the strike zone just at the very end.
Playing off that fastball, the previous pitch. This is the second time that we've seen Jackson Garcia, and that hat doesn't like to stay on his head, does it?
No, it does not. Reminiscent of, one of my favorite ball players, Jose Ramirez, who always seems to have his helmet fly off. Nonetheless, 91 miles per hour off the bat of McCann Libby, straight into center field. It's scooped by Nahar, but Libby standing on first base at the end of that exchange.
And looked like maybe a knowing tap of the chest by Garcia there. That's not a great 0-2 pitch. Fastball that just got caught too much of the zone. You want to try to maybe get him to chase there or elevate. He's going to be in swing mode, and Libby took advantage of the mistake.
So now Paul Lazul swings at the first pitch, and that one blooped into left field. Ryland under it, but another single back-to-back pitches find the outfield and land in front of Merchant outfielders for singles.
Yeah, that time Lazul just did really well to stay inside of that pitch. Was not a bad pitch, but got the hands in and inside outed it the other way.
That's 8 hits on the evening for Sonoma. With 1 out here in the top of the 5th, is looking to extend their lead, which already sits at 3-1. Adam Alarbi takes the first pitch for a ball. Alarbi, a walk back in the second, fly out to Cy Turner in the 4th. Waits on the 1-0 pitch from Garcia. Saw something he liked and took an aggressive swing, as once again the hat flies off of Garcia.
Put everything he had behind that fastball, blew it right by him.
So now the 1-1 pitch from Garcia. Sophomore gets another swing and a miss. This time goes to a breaking ball, low and away. Really smart pitch sequencing from Garcia.
Now he had Libby where he wanted him. He's ahead 1-2 here. We'll see if he can finish him off this time.
Garcia and gets the a much needed strikeout for Jackson Garcia.
In that off speed, he got him out in front. The pitch was not scared. He'd leave it over the plate. He executed and got a swing and miss.
Breaking ball low and away has been effective. So now Brady Shannon with an RBI, or had a walk in his last plate appearance. Swings at the first pitch and skies it in the handful of Merchants converge, but it's the second baseman Smallwood who snags the ball and makes the out.
No run,
To end the scoring threat here in the top of the fifth, a goose egg in the top of the fifth, and the Merchants will have some runs to make up in the bottom of the inning. Don't go anywhere. The leadoff batter in all three plate appearances so far in this game. The 1-0 pitch from Seo just clips the outside part of the zone for
Nahar thought of that pitch with his reaction. He's tough enough.
from Seo. That one roped into center. Charged his Akers, but he's unable to get there. That ball dribbles out from his glove, and Nahar will reach. So the leadoff runner aboard here in the bottom of the fifth. It's the heart of this Merchant lineup is coming up. 2, 3, 4 due up. A chance to make up some runs here in the bottom of the fifth.
And not hit hard, but you'll take it right now if you are the Merchants, able to fight off that pitch inside, stay in the center fielder.
The hit streak for Nahar extends to 5.
Of course, we'll watch him on first base.
And he goes on the first pitch, and he's in there. The speed on full display. It wasn't a great throw by the catcher, Duncan. Took a hop and also came into the left of the shortstop, Boardman, who then had to reach over to try and get Nahar, who was well into second base by the time that was in the glove of Boardman.
And Duncan had to rush that one a little bit because Nahar got such a great jump. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't done on the base paths.
That's the 8th stolen base of the young summer for Nahar. Is an outside pitch ruled a strike. Not sure I love that call there, Kyle, but makes the count 1-1 nonetheless on Ben Ryland, who so far on the day, single and a double.
Tempted to say at this point that if Ben Ryland doesn't think it's a strike, it's probably not.
Yeah, Ben Ryland, one of the most veteran hitters on this team, takes a pitch and that one goes off of his wrist and he is in a ton of pain. Seo, that one went way too inside on the lefty Ryland, and Ben Ryland is in some serious pain, hunched a few feet outside of the batter's box. You absolutely hate to see it. Ryland has come in, immediately been one of the best hitters for this Merchant squad. Now clearly shaken up. It looked like that pitch got the forearm of his right arm.
And we could hear that up here. Could potentially hear our stats man Octavian react to that as I did silently as well. A collective ooh as soon as we heard that go off the wrist. It looks like he's going to stay in the game.
Impressive display of toughness from Ben Ryland. who just shakes it off and is going to go over to first base. The umpire's checking on to make sure he's okay. Very silent stadium here at Pat Bale Field, showing some concern for Ben Ryland, but looks like he'll be okay, and Ben Giovanetti will step in with runners on first and second.
Say the good news is you got the two potential tying runs on base now. Ryland looks okay. You've got a lot of speed on the base pass and a lot of power in the batter's box.
Not to mention, no outs still here in the bottom of the fifth. Seo, who looked so good in the fourth, has a double steal. Both Ryland and Nahar, who may just very well be the two fastest players on the Merchants roster, immediately go on the pitch, and the catcher, Duncan, doesn't even try to gun them down. So now, runners on second and third.
I think Mr. Turner might have something to say to you about that, but your point is taken. Both very quick, and Nahar got a huge jump.
The 0-1 pitch finds the heart of zone. So Giovanetti falls behind 0-2. The sac fly is in play, but with no outs here. Double play likely gone from the possibilities of this play. Crucial that Giovanetti put this ball in play. Needs to protect the plate here down 0-2. Seo loads and fires. Strike three. Giovanetti goes down looking for the second straight plate appearance. That's not what Alameda needed.
And you can't blame them, but they're just not seeing the ball well, especially these right-handed hitters out of that arm slot. Even the check swing the check swing by Giovanetti there encompasses just how much they're having trouble seeing the ball out of the hands there. Now we've got a left-handed batter, might be a better look now.
Cy Turner swings at the first pitch he sees and skies one deep into left center field. That one's going to go off the fence in the warning track. That'll score one. That'll score two. Nahar and Ryland both come in to score, and this game is tied. Cy Turner sends a towering double off the fence to knot things up here at Pat Bale Field.
And right on cue, that's the trouble with the platoon. The platoon splits usually with these side armors. That fastball up in the zone, really tough to see that if you're a right-handed batter, but if you're a side turner, you can track that all the way out of the hand, and it was true. He smacked that into deep left center field.
Kyle, and how about Cy Turner, who wasn't originally supposed to be starting into this game, got late notice that he'd be starting in the cleanup spot and came into the game without any hits on the season, and only single and a double coming up big there with 2 RBIs here to tie this game. So we have a pinch hitter in the game for Alameda. It'll be number 8, Hayden Young-Goldberg. Number 8, Fabian Gomez. The first baseman will be replacing Emmett Finney. Gomez takes the 0-1 pitch in the dirt that allows Turner to advance to third as it escaped the catcher Duncan. Turner thought about trying to extend that an extra 90 feet as it took Duncan a while to be able to collect that ball, and he was nowhere near home base.
And you see the strategy here from Coach Fairfield, pinch hitting the left-handed batter who can get a better look at Seo. Aggressive secondary lead as usual by Cy Turner off of second base, allowing him to go to third on that ball in the dirt. And suddenly, we've got a tie game with Alameda the opportunity now to take the lead.
And once again, the sac fly in play here after that wild pitch allowed the runner to advance to third. Still just 1 out and a 1-1 count against Fabian Gomez, who hasn't played in 4 days. Just 7 plate appearances on the season, 1 hit. Takes the 1-1, clips the outside of the zone for strike 2.
And that's a way to neutralize the platoon disadvantage with that kind of arm slot, to paint the outside corner with a breaking ball. That's a nice pitch from Seo.
Seo trying to get back into a groove after dazzling in the fourth. It's been a struggle in the fifth, but the 1-2 just outside evens the count at 2.
That one did not quite hook around to the outside corner. I'm a little surprised to see Sonoma play the infield in this early in the game. I don't personally get the sense that this is going to be a low-scoring game, a close game perhaps, but taking a risk playing the infield in here.
Gomez of UCSB waits on the 2-2 pitch, way outside, full count. The temperature has begun to drop here in Alameda as we near 8 o'clock p.m. Some winds coming in to lower things into the low 60s in terms of temperature, but now the payoff pitch from Seo. Ball 4. Fabian Gomez comes in as a pinch hitter, falls behind, but then claws his way back into the at-bat. A valuable at-bat, and draws a walk.
Really good take there on the 3-2. That pitch was close, but it did look like it came
Number 3, Jace Jeremiah.
a little bit low. That'll back up the infielders now who are going to play at double play depth. Remember, Jace Jeremiah, his last at-bat, he had a lot of trouble. Uncharacteristically swung out of the zone for a strikeout, so we'll see if they let Seo face him again here.
Jeremiah was the first Merchant to face Seo. He struck out, began the first of 3 strikeouts in the 4th inning. Seo came back to get Giovanetti here in the 5th, but after a nearly flawless 4th inning, so far in the 5th, it's been single hit by pitch, got the strikeout, but then a towering double from Cy Turner to tie this game and a walk. Seo has looked like a completely different pitcher here in the 5th from what he looked like in the 4th inning. It's a extended, lengthy meeting on the mound here, the entire infield, as well as some of the coaching staff, but it looks like Ryan Seo will remain in the game to face Jace Jeremiah for a second time.
Well, I mentioned last inning when he was mowing down the Merchants hitters that he didn't look at all like he had the command issues that showed in his walk totals this spring, but now with that hit by pitch and the walk, especially against these left-handed batters, we're starting to see some of those troubles with consistency. If you're the Merchants, obviously you'd love to see that continue.
Jeremiah, who struck out against Seo back in the 4th, had a walk in the 2nd to extend his reached base streak to 7 games. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Runners on the corners here with 1 out. All tied at 3 runs apiece here in the home half of the 5th inning. Jace Jeremiah entered today with a .400 batting average. Certainly is the type of hitter who can make you pay. The runner in scoring position as Seo checks back in on Gomez at first, slides back in safely with some help from the Merchant dugout, who awarely and acutely called out back as soon as they saw that back foot step off from Seo.
Gomez might go here.
Now the 1-0 pitch goes to the off speed and taken by Jeremiah, but it was a good pitch, strike 1.
Yeah, he disagreed, but I agree with you, I should say. That did look like a good pitch from Seo, and a big pitch. Can't afford to fall behind Jeremiah here if you are Ryan Seo. So
now the 1-1 pitch to Jace Jeremiah. Seo unloads. That's a hard pitch to do anything with on the outside part of the plate. It did nab the corner of the strike zone for strike 2, though.
And we saw in Jeremiah's first at-bat, Seo being able to complete a similar type of pitch, that little 2-seam action that dots the outside corner.
So now Jeremiah behind 1-2. Seo kicks and fires. Strikeout. Out number 2 in the inning for the 2nd time. Seo gets Jace Jeremiah swinging. Runners remain on the corners now with 2 outs. At the bottom of the 5th.
17, Riley
It'll be up to Riley Winchell to try and extend the inning or bring these runners home.
Yeah, Jeremiah perhaps not wanting to let another fastball go by a little bit too eager. He changed speeds with the off speed, and Jeremiah was way out in front. We'll see if Winchell can stay back and get something into the outfield here.
Winchell takes the first pitch away outside for a ball. So, on the Merchant side, it looked like Dominic Brasesco just made the trot out to the bullpen to begin warming up. It's Turner on third, Gomez on first. 1-0 count here, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one slapped back to Seo, was just able to glove it. And runs over, tosses it to the first baseman, Lazul. for the third out. A heads-up play by Seo, but 2 runs recorded thanks to a big double from Cy Turner. 3-3 ball game as we head into the 6th inning on the Merchants Broadcast Network.
Sweet dreams are made of I travel the world in 7 seas. Looking for someone want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made to disagree. Travel the world in 7 seas. Everybody is looking for something.
Top of the 6th, Jackson Garcia out for another inning. Bats that has 2 singles.
Shadowed that earlier.
It's a far departure from the types of games that Sonoma was playing in this past week. The 3 in Saturday and Sunday's contests, we've seen a handful of between Walnut Creek and San Francisco. Describe that as we check in on some of the other scores. But currently it's Alameda who leads the North Division, the one affiliate in the North Division, outpacing the rest of the teams with a 4-2 record, in large part because of its catcher Duncan. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Garcia gets him going for the 2nd out of the inning. Goes down on 3 pitches. Garcia's really found his groove, Kyle.
Yeah, Duncan, his last at-bat took an 0-2 fastball. He timed up really well up the middle. That time, a 2-strike fastball. A little bit more elevated, and Garcia was able to blow it by him.
So now the lineup card turns over once again to the shortstop Boardman. An RBI single in his last plate appearance. Swung at the first pitch he saw that time. First pitch. Nothing good to do with that. It was in the dirt for ball 1. 2 singles on the day for Boardman. He swings at the 1-0, which evens the count at 1-1. So far this season, you add on an additional 2 hits onto what was a .381 average before this game, and you have to imagine Boardman's now hitting in the 400s with such a small sample size early into this season. I should mention that is all in CCL play, as Sonoma 3-3 in CCL, but 6-5 overall. They had a handful of non-league games at the end of May and to the start of June. Those stats don't get officially recorded to the third base side, but foul, so count at 2-2 with 2 outs. Base is empty. Garcia winds and unloads that one high. Draws the count full.
There's going to be a big pitch. 3-2.
Trying to get a little bit more depth. He's able to make contact with the ball this time. Swings on the 0-1. That one sent back in our direction. I don't know about you, Kyle, but I was absolutely ready for that one. If there wasn't a fence there, that's stolen base for the speedy Boardman.
And that's on Garcia, just not paying attention. A couple hop steps for Boardman, as if to say he's not going to throw, he's not going to look, and then he went.
Garcia, 2 strikeouts here in the 6th to put up another goose egg.
No errors, 1 left.
Score remains 3-3 as we head into the home half of the 6th. Alameda with a chance to take the lead.
Ethan, you a little bit ago, a great use of the word shellacking. Our stream connection, as people have noticed, has also been taking a little bit of a shellacking, and so we're gonna go down there and troubleshoot, see if we can get a good fix. So if we lose connection for a moment, just know that we're working on it, okay?
The brother.
Yeah.
Kyle.
W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is
Now pitching for the Stompers, number 17, Ryan's Kyle Sayer.
They said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. No, you know what I know. Mission go. Okay, let's get it.
If you catch me at the border, I'll be criminal. If you come around, I'll make more noise. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like you can get high like. If you catch me at the border, I'll be criminal. If you come around,
Leading off for the Merchants, number 4, Noah Smallwood.
Back for the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher in the game. It's the brother of the old pitcher Ryan Sayo, Kyle Sayo, in the game. Not quite as much of a sidearm delivery for Kyle Sayo at Sacramento City College this past season. 15 appearances, 18 innings pitched, and a 5 ERA. So far this summer, thrown 3 innings, scoreless, 4 strikeouts, and a save for the younger Sayo. That first pitch is fair. Smallwood rounds first as that one was lined perfectly down the third base line. He'll get into second base standing up. Noah Smallwood records his first hit of the season in style, a leadoff double. Reached on an error earlier on a play that was maybe 60-40, could have been called an error versus could have been called a hit. Now that one is definitively a hit. A double to kick things off here in the bottom of the 6th for Noah Smallwood.
Number 7, Chase Dittmer.
Brings up the third baseman, Chase Dittmer. Dittmer, 2 strikeouts on the day as this evening in Alameda has transformed into a beautiful one, albeit a chilly one, but a ray of golden sunshine cascading on Pat Bale Field. So we have a discussion between you. But nonetheless, the call of a double will stand. Noah Smallwood on second base with Chase Dittmer standing on first. Here in the bottom of the 6th, no outs, runner on second. Dittmer takes the first pitch from Kyle Sayo outside. Sayo has a fastball in the mid to high 80s to go with a slider and changeup when he goes to the off speed. The 1-0 count now on Dittmer. Seo, the righty, kicks and fires. That pitch coming in at 83 miles per hour, but low for ball 2. Can see that pink cotton candy sky. A beautiful night here in Alameda. Could be even more beautiful. All right, back and live. That pitch escapes with a runner on third. Smallwood's going to come in to score. Dominic Nahar doesn't even have to swing the bat. And Alameda takes a 4-3 lead on a wild pitch from Kyle Seo. In case you missed it, when we were dealing with some issues here on the broadcast, Noah Smallwood got his first hit of the season with a leadoff double. He was advanced over to third base on a fly out to right field from Chase Dittmer, and then a wild pitch, courtesy of Seo, allows Smallwood to score. It's now Dom Nahar with the bases empty. Lineup card turning over once again. Now Alameda scored 3 unanswered to take a 4-3 lead. Nahar, a single and 2 stolen bases his last time up back in the 5th inning. Skies this one foul. Keeping the count at 1-2. Nahar, there's number 23, just like his favorite athlete, LeBron James. Chance to be Mr. Clutch right here. Keeps this at-bat alive. Nahar, as Coach T.C. Fairfield would call him, a true leadoff hitter, as evidenced by that on-base percentage close to 500. 9 stolen bases already on the season through 7 games. As he digs out at a pitch outside of the zone, just gets enough of it. It was a close play as pitcher, catcher, and first baseman all tried to make the catch in foul territory. But Nahar got just enough of it to send it deep enough to keep this at-bat alive with another foul ball. So Nahar will step in once again against Kyle Seo, the junior. Seo working from the stretch now with runners not on. Nahar takes the 1-2 pitch and slaps it out into right field and gets aboard for the second time today. Second consecutive inning with a Dom Nahar single. And Kyle, you know what he can do on the bases. Could steal number 10 of the season be coming right here?
I wouldn't be surprised, especially with that big leg kick we just saw from Seo. We'll see what he looks like out of the stretch, but I feel like that was perfect time for me. Always good to be up in the booth and see Dom Nahar take a pitch the other way.
So it's Ben Ryland now, who last time was plunked by a pitch. It was a bit scary as it worked in, hit him in the forearm. He shook it off and is okay. Good to see him in the batter's box once again, and always a threat when he is. First pitch taken for a strike. Nahar had a big jump off of it, but did not go. 8 hits apiece for both the Stompers and the Merchants. 1 error, but the only difference on that score column. 4-3 Merchants lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Chance to extend it with 1 on, 1 out. Ben Ryland waits on the 0-1 pitch. Sends it into center field. Trailing back a few steps is Akers, but he's under it for the out.
It's rare to see Ryland off balance, but that's exactly what he was on that pitch. Good offering from Seo. Got him out in front of the off speed.
Number 28, Ben Giovanetti.
Able to garner the weak fly out to center field.
So we'll bring up Ben Giovanetti. Just 2 backwards Ks on the day, 2 frustrating plate appearances to go along with an RBI single back in the first. That got the scoring going in this game. Nahar with a big lead here on first base. He goes.
Bigger jump.
Giovanetti slaps one to the shortstop. Boardman tosses and scooped up by Lazul for the 3rd out. So Alameda able to add 1 and take the lead. We'll head to the 7th inning on the Merchant Streaming Network.
1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. The Merchants take the lead, 4-3, heading to the top of the 7th.
How do you score? How did he score? Wild pitch. For 2 bases. Advanced on a fly out. Came home on a wild pitch. Count 2.
Now pitching for the Merchants, number 13, Dominic Brasesco.
Don't worry, I'm locked in. Top of the 7th, new pitcher in the game for Alameda is the righty Dominic Brasesco. 1 appearance so far this season, 3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 5. Did give up a homer in his short time in the game, but was able to record the win. Brasesco, obviously a small sample size, but a surging K per 9, 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. As center fielder Akers will be the first to face the new pitcher in the game, who immediately comes in and throws a strike.
We talked before the game, actually not on air, about how we were going to be keeping an eye on the first pitch strike rate, how much of a difference that was going to make. Some of the other Merchants hurlers have struggled with that a little bit, so it's good to see Brasesco come in and immediately fire a fastball in there on the outside corner.
Second pitch escape from him in the dirt, escape from the catcher Riley Winchell as well, but no harm, no foul with no one on base there. Brasesco, currently in the transfer portal, spent last year at San Jose State. Had 3 appearances on the season. Only threw about 2 innings and some change and struggled. That's why he has an inflated ERA. Back in 2024 at San Joaquin Delta, 24 appearances, a much better 3.86 ERA for a team that finished 2nd in the state. He's one of the guys who does list Garrett Cole as his favorite athlete and the guy he models the game after. Trying to replicate his MLB idol here now with a 2-2 count. Would be very Colean to get a punch out here, I would say.
Yes, it would. Especially if he's got another fastball like that first pitch that he can dot on the outside corner.
And Brasesco, 4-seam fastball, sinker, slider, sweeper, changeup, splitter. We certainly won't see all of those, but has a lot of tools in his bag. Now the 2-2 pitch. Gets a hold of it and sends out into center field, but under it is Nahar. For the first out here of the 7th inning, Akers, his 4th flyout of the game. All to the outfield, or excuse me, a fielder's choice back in the first, but now that's 3 consecutive flyouts, 2 of which have been to Dominic Nahar. Brings up McCann Libby. Defensive alignment, relatively straightforward here. First pitch ball. Brasesco comes from an athletic family. His uncle, Jason Bartlett, played for the Twins, the Rays, and the Padres. So has some MLB lineage in his blood.
You heard the glee in my voice earlier when I learned that. big fan of remembering some guys. And Sorry, Bartlett's the ultimate guy to remember. One of those guys who played shortstop with the Twins, kind of light hitting, and then those late 2000s Rays teams that suddenly were good for the first time in their franchise history. Bartlett had the best year of his career, 2009, I want to say.
Now the 1-1 pitch struck sharply over to the third baseman Dittmer, who calmly drops to one knee and snags it for the second out of the inning. Libby got a good hold of that one, but unfortunately for him, right in the direction of Alameda's third baseman, who was Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, that looked like an off-speed pitch that caught a lot of the plate.
Paul Lazul.
Well struck by Libby, just nothing to show for it.
So now Paul Lazul trying to avoid the fate of 3 consecutive scoreless innings for Sonoma. Now, 4-3 was the exact score of the last game between these two teams, including the team that ended up winning Alameda. Obviously, still 3 full innings to go, but we mentioned these two teams and their propensity to play in one-run matches. We could be trending toward the same thing right now. Paul Lazul has a chance to change that all here if he can get something going with 2 outs, runners empty. 0-1 pitch from Brasesco in the dirt, ball 1.
I like what I've seen from Lazul today. We talked about the quality of the at-bats of the Merchants lineup. Really good at-bats, each of his 3 at-bats today from Lazul.
Now the 1-1 from Brasesco. Kicks and fires. It's outside for a ball. And how about around the sports world happening right now, from one, spunky upstart team that wears blue and yellow to another? How about the Indiana Pacers winning Game 3 of the NBA Finals to take a 2-1 series lead? I feel like there's some shared camaraderie in terms of, the mentality of the Merchants and the Pacers.
Especially if you're Ethan Siegel and you're from the Midwest.
Yeah, why not?
No, we're happy for the Pacers. You're right. Hey,
it's not like Oklahoma City is particularly West Coast either, as that pitch is outside to make it 3-1.
That's true. I think Indiana might be a little closer to where you are, but Indiana represents the plucky underdog.
I just think it's a really cool story because no one expected the Pacers to be here, just like no one expected, the one affiliate team in the North Division to be leading the league 6 games into the season, a chance to extend that tonight in Game 7, a chance to be 5-2, and it's a far departure from where this team was last year when they went 1-9 in the first 10. Alameda, folks don't realize, was really good in the back half of the season, closed the year out 12-10, but just got off to such a slow start. If you were able to start the season hot and then just play 500 ball from there, it's a team that could very well qualify for the postseason, and that is certainly what manager T.C. Fairfield and crew have in mind.
Beautiful pitch.
As Brasesco rings him up with a looking strikeout to close out the 7th. A 1-2-3 inning here in the 7th inning. We'll head to the home half after the stretch.
It's time to stretch.
I was with you. I'm an A's fan. All the same. I don't want to hear about small markets. Stop that.
They called him out. They said 7-6. So they scored safety swing. Turner, side Turner.
Home half of the 7th, Cy Turner steps in, and his last plate appearance was maybe the defining one so far in this game. A 2 RBI double back in the 5th that at the time tied things up, but then since then Alameda has come to take the lead, but things were looking dicey early in this one for Alameda. A chance for things to really spiral out of control, and then we look back at a sequence where runner gunned down at third when Sonoma had the bases loaded. And then Alameda quickly responding, tying this game, and Cy Turner's found his rhythm, swings at the first pitch, slapped out into right field for a single. That's his 3rd base hit of the game. 2 singles to go with that double. Turner, who came into today's contest hitless in 15 plate appearances, what a way to break out of an early season slump.
First pitch swinging, get a fastball, why wait around? Up in the zone, saw it well, ripped it into right field.
Now Fabian Gomez, who pinch hit back in the 5th inning for Emmett Finney, drew a walk. Gets a second plate appearance off the bench.
Watch Turner on first.
First pitch swung on once again. That one sent to left field. That's going to get down in fair territory. Turner round second base and will get into third standing up. It'll be a stand-up double for Fabian Gomez. What a way to start the inning.
Just kind of flipped that one down the left field line. Wasn't hit particularly hard, but it was a long way to go for Sebastiani. And we've seen defensively for the Merchants, we talked about the speed that they have. Needed a lot of speed if he was going to be able to track that one down. Just couldn't quite get there, and the Merchants are the beneficiaries. They will certainly take it.
First extra base hit of the summer for Fabian Gomez. And they'll bring up Jace Jeremiah, who struck out in each of his last 2 plate appearances, but a chance to get the vibes back in the right direction with no outs and 2 in scoring position here. We'll face Kyle Seo, both those strikeouts coming against Ryan Seo in the 4th and 5th innings. Kyle Seo, another swing on a first pitch. That one, will it be deep enough to send the runner? Making the play in center field is Akers. Turner's going to come home and he'll score. The throw came into third base where Gomez was advancing, and Sonoma will allow a runner to score here. That is 3 consecutive innings where Alameda has played at least 1 run. And now the Merchants lead 5-3. A mid to late game onslaught for Alameda.
It seemed like a plan coming into this inning. Another batter swinging at the first pitch. All he needed was some contact to get it into the outfield, and he was able to do that. It was interesting to see the center fielder Akers take that ball. It looked like Shannon might have had a better angle at it, especially given that Akers wanted to go to third base. Shannon, a quarterback at Youngstown State as well. Maybe it would have been a better choice to have him make that catch in that throw.
So Riley Winchell, for the first time in a little bit, won't swing at the first pitch. That one was too low to be swung at ball 1. Still a sac fly opportunity with Gomez at third and just 1 out here. Now Seo finds the strike zone to even things at 1-1. Winchell, so far on the day, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a ground out back to the pitcher. Awaits the 1-1 pitch from Seo. Another good one, strike 2.
See the infield in again for Sonoma. Maybe understand it a little bit more this late in the game. In danger of getting away from you if you are the Stompers.
Alameda scored 4 unanswered, a chance to add on to that, but a nice block from the catcher Duncan to prevent a passed ball and another potential run coming in to score to extend that stretch to 5-0 unanswered. Nonetheless, a 2-2 count with 1 out now to the catcher Riley Winchell. As Kyle mentioned, Sonoma's infield standing at the edge of the grass with a potential play at home on a sharply hit ground ball. The 2-2 kick and delivery outside, count is full. A pivotal pitch upcoming here against Winchell, the freshman at Pacific. Righty versus righty matchup. The payoff. In the dirt, ball 4. Winchell trots down to first base now. Runners on the corners.
Now, you called it a few innings ago, Ethan, when you talked about the importance of the bottom of the lineup being able to set up the top of the lineup. We saw it in the 6th inning with Smallwood leading off with the double, came around to score. Now we see again Winchell with the walk in the 7th spot, and Smallwood with a chance to do something here with 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Smallwood, that huge double for his first hit of the season an inning ago. Came in to score on a passed ball.
This is number 4, Noah Smallwood.
We talked about how he struggled in his last game. The last time this team was at home, a bouquet of strikeouts to go with a few defensive miscues, but has responded really well. Reached on an error back in the 4th, and then that double. Has played sharp defense. We haven't noticed him at second base, which defensively usually means good things are happening if you're not causing any miscues. The 1-1 pitch with 1 out jammed him up a little bit, but he held back. Oh, never mind. First base umpire Harvey Maxey said that Smallwood turned just enough for strike 2.
A late appeal. I haven't noticed him defensively at second base, but you know what I did notice, Ethan? A bouquet of strikeouts. You are on it today. Must be that Pacers victory. That's on top of things.
What can I say? Now the 1-2 pitch from Seo outside. Ball 2.
Now it's 2-2. Right. It's 2-2.
Seeing Seo's starting to struggle with his command, specifically the fastball command. He's got good enough stuff to get these righties especially out, but he's given away too many pitches.
It's Gomez on 3rd, Winchell on 1st. 2-2 count. The lights turn on here at Pat Bale Field. Just clips the zone. Strike 3 looking. Seo rings him up for a backwards K. A huge second out here in the bottom of the 7th with runners on the corners.
Says, question my fastball command. Well, I'll paint one right there on the outside corner.
Absolutely perfectly placed ball.
Chase Dittmer.
Now Chase Dittmer, chance to plate these runs. We've seen a handful stranded for the Merchants already. That's 8 runners left on base through 6 innings, trying to avoid that total reaching double digits. Dittmer swings at the first pitch and skies it between the shortstop and the left fielder. The left fielder, Sebastiani, calls him off and makes the play to end the 7th, stranding another 2 for Alameda. But another run comes across. It's 5-3 Merchants after 7.
2 left. The Merchants tag on 1 more. It's 5-3 heading to the top of the 8th.
I said it like 3 different ways.
After a 1-2-3 7th inning, Dominic Brasesco out for another inning of work, trying to keep Sonoma an arm's length away. Got some insurance runs the past 2 innings. Alameda, which once trailed 3-1, now leading 5-3. Just 6 outs to play with now for Sonoma. Kicking things off will be the 6th hitter, Adam Alarbi. Arby takes the first pitch in the zone for a strike. He walked back in the second. Since then, fly out and a strikeout.
Good first pitch from Brasesco there. Anytime you can start off batter with a breaking ball on the inside corner. Set up well for the rest of the at-bat.
That's a swing and a miss on the second offering. A righty-righty matchup. Went to the off-speed and got Arby looking all sorts of uncomfortable there.
Yeah, that time towards the outside corner. And come back with anything you want here if you're Brasesco.
Now the 0-2 goes inside and it really jammed Arby up. He had to take a step back to even take a swing at it and just weakly sputters one towards the first base side.
A little bit of a panic swing on that 0-2 breaking ball. It was staying inside, but did well to spoil it.
Brasesco controlling this at-bat ahead 0-2. Arby trying to stay alive. The 0-2 swung on and crushed out to left field, but under it is the center fielder, Nahar. That one looked a little bit sharper off the bat. It's relatively pedestrian out. I maybe got a little bit too excited here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, it was up in the zone, came off the bat. It sounded loud, but he definitely got under it, and I'm glad you used the word that you did, controlling that at bat, because as Brasesco was taking his warm-up pitches, I was thinking the same thing, just the way he goes about his business on the mound. He really seems like he's in command. Was a captain of his team his senior year in high school, and certainly looks like somebody who's leading the troops right now.
Brady Shannon swings at the first pitch. Perhaps the last chance for this crowd to get $2 hot dogs. As Shannon, so far on the day, has not fallen victim to any strikeouts. Is 1 for 2 on the day with a walk.
I wonder if that announcement at the beginning of the game might cause him to choke up a little bit more.
How do you think that changes the hitter's mentality when it's publicly announced that if you strike out, all the fans rejoice and get free hot dogs? You have to maybe feel the chip on your shoulder a little bit. The 0-1 pitch he sends out into right field. Going back is Turner at the warning track, makes the play for the second out. It's one of the first real hard hit balls we've seen off of Brasesco, but Cy Turner, like he has been all night, is there to make the play.
If that did affect Shannon at all, like on that pitch where he was a little behind that fastball and took it the other way, you'll take it because his game is power. So if he wants to shorten up, that's advantage Alameda.
Brings up Nick Sebastiani. That's now 6 consecutive Stomper batters that have been retired. Sonoma hasn't had a base hit since the 5th inning. The bullpen's done a really good job of controlling the game and bringing it back into Alameda's favor. First pitch inside for ball 1 to Sebastiani. Sebastiani, 2 singles and an RBI. Flew out to center in his last plate appearance back in the 6th. Waits on the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, he's thrown a few of those. Starting that at the front hip, comes over the inside corner. It's a family affair for the Stompers. We've seen the brothers Seo, and we've got the cousins Sebastiani, Nick and Ben.
We have not seen Ben in today's game as that pitch is lined foul off of the lip of the Merchant dugout. Count moves to 1-2. Base is still empty with 2 outs. Sebastiani working against Brasesco. Brasesco winds and delivers. Just low. Went off speed once again. That one measuring in at 77 miles per hour, but couldn't find the strike zone.
That's a good 1-2 pitch, though. He got that affirmation from his catcher, Winchell, that he put it right where he wanted to.
So Brasesco reloads and tries for a punch out again. The pitch in the dirt. So Sebastiani works back into the count, which is now full.
Obviously really like to put him away here if you are Brasesco. You've got number 8 and potentially number 9 to follow. You don't want to turn this back over to the top of the lineup. See what he's got for him, 3-2.
The payoff pitch. Brasesco fires. That one roped back into center field. Nahar takes a few trots back, but makes the play. 3 up, 3 down once again. And Sonoma's down to their final 3 outs, but first Alameda will try and score some insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to the Merchants Broadcast Network.
Fisher. Nick Haas.
Now pitching for the Stompers, number 39, Nick Haas.
Appropriately named. Got Haas. Pop out.
The sun has set on the island. Ethan Siegel and Kyle Floyd, as the Merchants lead 5-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Once again, Sonoma led 3-1, 4 unanswered for the Merchants, and once again it'll be Dom Nahar for the 4th time leading off an inning, which is exactly what Alameda wants, but a new pitcher into the game for the Stompers is the righty Nick Haas of Folsom Lake College.
Dominic Nahar.
By way of, I should say, grew up in nearby Oakland, California. As we look in the Oakland skyline out in left field, Nahar swings at the first pitch, dribbled foul. Nahar singled in each of his past 2 plate appearances. This past year, Nick Haas with the Folsom Lake Falcons, 17 appearances, 21 innings pitched, 4.22 ERA. That's a sinker and slider combo from the bump. Finds the strike zone to get ahead of Nahar 0-2.
Yeah, Haas started at Bishop O'Dowd High School. If you're local, you know that name and De La Salle mean a lot. If you can make it there in high school, you're probably a real prospect. As a freshman in high school, perfect game had him clocked up to 87 miles an hour with the fastball, so a good talent on the mound for the Stompers, to say the least.
A quick meeting between catcher and pitcher before coming back to the at-bat to face Nahar up a 0-2. Nahar with those 2 singles, already recording his 5th multi-hit game of the season. I should mention, only 7 games played, having multiple hits in 5 of them. Quite impressive for the center fielder, and a good eye on the 0-2 pitch as that one trailed outside for the first ball of the at-bat. Nahar, who played his freshman season at Cal State University East Bay. You know, he has an approach at the plate like he's a senior or a graduate student. The fact that he's still got plenty of years left of collegiate ball. Certainly an exciting prospect if you are a member of that Cal State East Bay organization. Now the 1-2 clips the zone, a rare strikeout for Dominic Nahar, just his 4th of the season. This one a looking strikeout. A good start to the day for Nick Haas.
Yeah, and he knew it. Nahar knows the strike zone, and he knows that he got locked up there. A lot of vertical break on that off-speed pitch. Really pretty pitch there from Nicholas Haas.
So now it's Ben Ryland, who's reached base safely 3 times today. Hit by a pitch, single, and a double. Flew out to center in his last plate appearance. Slowed down the momentum of, it could have been the early makings of a potential cycle, but wasn't meant to be. Fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Haas kicks and fires the 0-1 pitch. Finds the zone once again. Second straight batter, works ahead 0-2.
Sometimes I think that Ryland does his best work when he's down in the count. Somehow he's down 0-2, and it feels sometimes like the pitcher is behind.
The 0-2 escaped the catcher, Duncan. Was a ball, also looked at maybe got a piece of him. He keeled over, a little bit of discomfort after that. Take a moment to make sure that he's okay. And we talked about how many one-run games these two teams played in last year. Now a 2-run game, but shouldn't be overshadowed in that Sonoma did win the season series last year. 5 out of 8 games go in the Stompers' direction, including the away team came in here to Pat Bale Field. The Stompers won 2 of 3 here in Alameda. Merchants trying to reverse that trend as Ben Ryland steps back in. 1-2, 1 out. That one way outside, evens the count at deuces.
One of the things that we've spoken a lot about on these few broadcasts, Ethan, is non-competitive 2-strike pitches. Can't afford those against a hitter like Ben Ryland. 2 straight after getting ahead 0-2.
Now the 2-2 pitch. That one was competitive and spoiled away. Sent way into foul territory. Every time Ryland comes to the plate, you can expect to see either a first pitch hit into the outfield, or a lot of times these at-bats are going to then go 6 or 7 or 8 pitches. We've the 9th. You won't want to miss this finish.
Merchants are up.
What's going on there?
No idea. Yep.
Right into the
Look, man, that's supposed to be acting. I know when we stay there.
Now pitching for the Merchants, number 44, Zane Baltz.
9-1-2, due up for Sonoma as they look to claw back into this one. Zane Baltz gets the nod to close things out for Alameda. 2 appearances already so far this season. He's thrown 2 innings, both scoreless. Actually faced these Stompers last week, where he threw 1 inning, allowed 1 run, though it was unearned. Had 1 wild pitch through 25 pitches, 60% of which were strikes. It'll be Luke Duncan first up, who takes the first pitch.
Oh man, I forgot to announce it.
Or actually, it'll be a pinch hitter in the game. It looks like number 1, Hyun Han, who takes a second pitch. Count moves to 2-0 for Han, the sophomore from Los Medanos College, a 2-way player. He's a submarine pitcher, another one on this Stomper roster, but also hit .404 this past year at Los Medanos with an on-base percentage above 500, and you can see why as he works ahead 3-0. Hahn had the walk-off hit in Sonoma's exhibition match against the Alameda Anchors. As he backs off the plate from that one, was taking all the way, but it was right down the pipe for strike one. That exhibition match versus the Anchors ended in 15-14 fashion. Quite different from this low-scoring affair as Hahn takes a pitch for ball 4 and gets aboard. Lead runner gets on.
He noted his on base and he showed why in that at bat. Sometimes you can tell how comfortable a hitter is by how they take pitches. You can tell that he sees it early, and easy takes on all 4 of those outside of the zone. Not the way you want to start it if you're Alameda.
So Colton Boardman will get his 5th plate appearance of the day. First one against Zane Baltz. He's reached in each of his last 3 plate appearances 2 singles and a walk in that time.
Keep an eye on Hahn, 14 of 15 stealing this spring.
Ball 1 is outside. Boardman, a true tone setter as a leadoff guy. We've seen that all evening long.
There he goes. Oh.
Hahn went, but then came back. He should have went. Is now a play available at second base. They'll get the lead runner. Hahn was jumping between going and then staying, and that ended up costing him an out. Probably would have had the out at first base anyways, but Jeremiah, smartly seeing Hahn wasn't there in time, tosses over to the second baseman Smallwood to get the lead runner and the first out here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, it cost him a runner in scoring position there, a little indecisive. It looked like if he had gone when he had initially bluffed, that he would have had a good jump, but for whatever reason, Hahn second-guessed himself to the Merchants' benefit.
And we'll have another pinch hitter in the game. In for the third baseman, Shepler, will be the catcher, Esteban Sepulveda. Sepulveda, the freshman catcher from Pepperdine. Made 16 starts this past season and hit .303, takes the first pitch for a strike.
Oh, wow.
It's Boardman on first, offers plenty of speed on the base paths with 1 out. Baltz kicks and fires, just missed outside ball 1. Baltz, the 5th pitcher we've seen today for Alameda. Garcia, Brasesco, and Baltz have all been really effective in the later part of this game. As that pitch looked like it got maybe the knob of the bat and went foul.
I think you are correct, and interesting with a pinch hitter here, a righty to go up against a right-handed pitcher on the mound. So something that they like about this matchup with Sepulveda.
So now a 1-2 count for Baltz against Sepulveda. Did he go? No, barely. Just able to hold back on a breaking ball on the low outside portion of the plate, and it'll even the count at 2, but it was a close one, and the Merchants dugout letting the umpires know they disagree with that call. So now the 2-2. Sent foul down the third baseline, so we'll have to do it once again.
He didn't get the call, but he's got Sepulveda on his heels. Had that half swing that went off the knob of the bat, then a check swing. Not great contact on that last pitch as well. He's got him off balance. See if maybe he tries to come with some heat.
Checks in on the runner at first. That ball that was low and away. That was what Baltz calls the Euro slider. Goes with his splitter and fastball, which usually clips in the high 80s that he throws about 3/4 of the time. Will he go to it here? The 2-2 pitch with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Zane Baltz gets a check swing. A huge out to record the second of the inning. And now Alameda just 1 out away from moving to 2-0 against Sonoma on the young season. Landon Akers, the center fielder, has this game riding on his bat. Akers has flown out in each of his last 3 plate appearances, all to the outfield. It's the first pitch, way outside for ball 1.
Got to be careful with Akers. He slugged 5'11" this spring for Bellarmine Prep down in San Jose.
Member of the ASUN All-Freshman team. Had 80 hits this year. That's 4th in program history. Another pitch outside, and that'll get past enough for Boardman to advance into scoring position. So a little bit of heat now on Zane Bolts with a runner on second, 2 outs. A 2-0 count here against Landon Acres. The tying run represented at the plate. The 2-0. The catcher Winchell tried to frame it and bring it back up into the zone, but that one was low. And now a very friendly hitter's count, 3-0 against Landon Acres. Bolts finds the strike zone finally with the 3-0 count to make things 3-1. As Acres, you noted in his previous at-bats, a very skinny stance from the right side of the batter's box. Now the 3-1 from Bolts, poked back into the fence. Rattling our camera setup here, but it draws the count full. And Sonoma down to its final strike.
A real defensive swing on that high fastball from Acres. You noted his stance, almost like he's choked up in his stance.
Pitch, it was just high and outside of the zone, but drew a swing. But Acres was able to get enough of the bat on it to stay alive. We are locked in an absolute battle here between pitcher and hitter.
Fastball spoiled, breaking ball spoiled. Acres struck out just 25 times in over 200 plate appearances this spring. He's tough to put away. We'll see if Bolts can pull something out of his bag.
Looking to slam the door. The payoff pitch once again, slapped out into right field. Trailing under it is Turner. He makes the play, and the Merchants win it 5-3. The bullpen comes in and holds Sonoma hitless for the final 4 innings of this contest, securing a 5-3 victory as the team moves to 5-2 on the season. What a win for Alameda.
And this team is so impressive because they can win in so many different ways. It did not look like this game was going that way. The overall hit total for Sonoma was really good, but Brasesco and company and Bolts here at the end came in and just shut the door on an offense that has been going extremely well lately. Really impressive by this Merchants pitching staff, and a real complete game from this Merchants team.
You mentioned it, the 2 games before this one. Sonoma, 28 runs in those 2 games, mustered just 3 runs tonight. That is a nice douse of cold water that Alameda poured on that hot offensive streak for Sonoma. And it was 5 different pitchers getting the job done. Cole Airhorn, Dom Cristinzio, Jackson Garcia, Dominic Brasesco, and Zane Bolts. As Alameda scored 4 unanswered to take the lead and win this one. Signing off on the broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. For Kyle Floyd, I've been Ethan Siegel. Thank you so much for joining us on the Merchants Streaming Network.
That's why I'm looking at that, yeah.
Side Turner. I would talk to Side Turner.
Yeah, especially because he was put in the lineup late in the game. It was his first 3 hits, I believe, of the year.